If you're preparing for grade 9 exams, I want you to know that these questions are likely to come on an exam. And what I'll do in this video is, I'm going to demonstrate how you have to resolve them correctly, so that when you happen to encounter them on an exam, you will be able to resolve them. These questions are repeated year in, year out. Without any further ado, let's take a ride. A wooden cylinder has mass 150 grams and density 0.05 grams per cubic centimeter. Find its volume. Now, this question is derived from the topic mensuration, right? The second one is actually from bearings, right? And the third one, that is algebra, and the specific subtopic is substitutions, right? Substitution means replacement. So if you're able to identify the topics whence the questions have been derived, it becomes pretty easy for you to solve the problems, right? Let's start with the first one. The saying, determine the volume of that wooden cylinder. So what you do first to make the work easier is you collect your data. So we write data, then we identify the quantities that have been given, right? What quantities have been given? We have mass, which is given as 150 grams, and then density is given as 0.05 grams per cubic centimeter. Then what else has been given? Those are the only two quantities that have been given. And they want us to resolve volume. So what we do is we write the formula because it indicates or it shows that we know what we're doing. Density is equal to mass over volume. Then we plug in the values into the equation. Density has been given as 0.05, and then mass has been given as 150 over volume. So when you reach this point, what you do is you simply introduce the 1, then cross multiply. We are cross multiplying so as to get rid of the fractions. When we get rid of the fractions, we will be able to resolve this pretty well. Introduce 1, cross multiply. This will be multiplied by that, so that will be 0.05 times V, which is equal to 1 times 150. The identity property of 1 is that when you multiply it by any number, you get the number multiplied by 1. So this would be 150 still. Then this would be 0.05 V, right? Yeah. So now, what you do next is you multiply this side by the multiplicative inverse of this one, which is 1 over 0.05. What you do this side is what you do on the other side. That is 1 over 0.05. Okay, so this one and that one will give us 1. Introduce a 1. That by that will be 0.05. 0.05 times 1, 0.05. Then 0.05 into 0.05, that would be a 1 times V. We will end up having V, which is equal to, here we can introduce a 1, 150 times 1, that will be 150 over 0.05. How then do you work out this problem to the end? Let me rub out this part so that I write it here. All right, so what we have is V is equal to 150 over 0.05. Remember, at grade 9 level, you're not expected to use a calculator. How then do you work out this to the end? What you do is this. Take note of the number of decimal places in the denominator. So we have 2 decimal places, so we are going to multiply by 2 zeros, right? Include the 1 here. What you do at the bottom is what you do on top. Multiply it by 100, right? What will be the answers? 150 times 100 what you do is you write a 150, then add 2 zeros, right? Then here, the decimal point will move twice because of the zeros, yeah? 1, 2. So you're going to have a 5 there. What then will be the final answer? Volume is equal to 5 there, 1, 5 there, 3. 5 into 0, 0, 5 into 0, 0, 5 into 0, 0. So the volume will be 3,000. And we take note of the units that have been used here. Those were grams, cubic centimeters, right? So here we're going to have cubic centimeters. That's the volume, right? We are done. By just doing that, you pocket 2 marks. Let's soldier on to the second question. We resolve it and see how we have to do it. This one is repeated, so it will come just the way you're seeing it. Except that the numbers might not be the same. They'll be different. It might be flipped. It might be faced in another direction, but the concept is the same. So when you're looking at bearings, and if you want to get the full marks that are allocated to a question on bearings, you need to revisit angles. Angles are actually the foundation of bearings. If you're with me at this point and you're getting everything crystal clear, I want you to do me a favor. Drop a comment in the comment section. Reading crystal clear. Let's move on and solve question 2. All right, let's resolve question 2. I'm going to pull out the diagram. What we have is this one here. We have X. Then we have Y here. Then we have 230 degrees on this point. They're saying, find the bearing of Y. Bearing of Y from X. The word from is very important because it determines where you're going to draw the vertical, right? So from X, we are going to draw a vertical line on X. Indicate N there. So now, this line is actually parallel to this one. You see that? What we're looking for is the angle here. You see that? That's the angle that we are looking for. But we cannot determine this angle unless we know this angle here on the inside. When we know this angle, we are going to have something like this. These two lines are parallel to each other. Then we have a transversal. Co-interior angles, which we also call allied angles, add up to 180. So first thing first, we have to resolve this angle. Now, angles at the point add up to 360, right? So if this is 230, what then is this angle on the inside? We'll say 360 degrees minus 230. 6 minus 3, 3. 3 minus 2, 130. This angle is 130 degrees. Angle Y. That's 130 degrees. Now, if this angle and that angle are allied angles, meaning they add up to 180. What angle is this? This angle is what? 50 degrees. You might have a question, how have I found 50 degrees? Let me help you. This is what I've done. I will name this one as A. We pretend we don't know it. Then plus this angle you found as 130 degrees. They should add up to 180 degrees. You might be like, how do I know? Well, those are angle theorems. Okay? Those are angle theorems. You need to fall back on angles. Allied angles add up to 180. You just have to know it here. So here we go. We are looking for A. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the additive inverse of 130, that's minus 130 degrees. What we do this side is what we do on the other end, minus 130 degrees. This will give us a 0. A is equal to 180. Let me show you this. 180 minus 130. 0 minus 0, 0, 8 minus 3, 5. 1 minus 1, that's a 0. So that is 50 degrees. And that's how I found that. So the bearing, we can now say the bearing of y from x is, we'll say the bearing, you can write that one, right? The bearing of y from x is equal to 0.50 degrees. Remember, we are dealing with a 3-figure bearing, right? And just like that, you scored 2 marks. Let's work out the third problem that has to do with substitution. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out this expression 2a squared minus b. So what they're telling us is a is equal to 4, then b is equal to -5. You look at this expression, remove the variables, and then replace them with their values. So 2 there, I'm going to remove a, and then still indicate its power, then minus, I'm going to remove b here. And then the next thing that I'll do is I will substitute, I will replace the variables with their values. Here there was a, so what is a here? It's a 4, right? Then what is b? B is -5, right? From here, the next step is expand this. This will be 2, 4 times 4 minus. We can actually work out this, right? Multiply this negative times negative, that will give us +5. Okay? Then 2, 4 times 4, that's 16 plus 5. Then you multiply 2 times 16, that's 32 plus 5, which is equal to 37. And just like that, we've actually worked out the problems, all the problems. Now, what I want you to do is share this video with at least 10 classmates that you have at heart and you'd want them to pass. Then the next thing that you do is subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so that you don't miss on any video that I'll be rolling out in the nearby future. See you in the next one.